My name is Othello Bonacci, and I'm a director, DP, and photographer based in DC. And I want to do a long-term review of this GFX 50R, which is, in my opinion, one of the best cameras you can get for the price on the market. And yeah, so right off the bat, I'm gonna start with the cons, just to get it out the way. The autofocus is slow compared to this R5 here. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, the autofocus being slow, and it's an older camera, but outside of that, I don't think it's anything that someone is gonna say, oh man, this camera sucks, right? But if you're someone who does sports, someone who does fast action, I don't recommend this camera. There's one photographer that I know of that shoots Fuji, and he's able to do stuff like that, but he's not sort of shooting like this. He's more waiting for the shot and taking it. So this is more of a slower camera, and if you like that, great, but if you want something with speed, I would advise you go elsewhere. So this camera is special because it is the only rangefinder medium format that Fujifilm has come out with, and they haven't done it since. So if you're someone who shoots Leica or Fuji or even Hasselblad X-Pan, this is a good camera to kind of feed your needs, as you say. But just in general, the image quality is good. The autofocus for a medium format camera is amazing. And the color science. So I'm coming from medium format film. I shot 6x7, I shot 6x6, I shot 645, 35 mil, but this camera gives me that Fuji look that I get from Provia. And Provia is a slide film, but in this camera, it is a general color profile. So I'm able to save money on film and just shoot on this. Spoiler alert, I do not shoot film anymore because of this camera. It suits my needs. And the experience working with this camera was interesting, right? So the camera takes a little bit to get used to if you're not used to shooting Fuji. They got dials on the top, dials on the side, buttons. But depending on what lens you use, and if it has like autofocus, autofocus. If it has autofocus dials or not, that could make things a little bit harder or easier. And if it has like these dials here, so one of my other lenses doesn't have these dials, and it creates sort of a hassle when I change it, because then you have to remap your buttons. For the most part, it's a learning curve like any other camera, and I would say the biggest thing is just getting used to a new system over what you've used previously. I've shot Canon for a majority of my career, and switching over to Fuji in 2019 was different. I've explored most of the medium formats. I shot with the Pentax for a little bit. That was pretty good. I really enjoyed that camera, but it doesn't work in Capture One, so that was a deal breaker. This camera works in Capture One. This camera has Bluetooth. Bluetooth sucks, but you know, to each his own. I would say, like, depending on your camera, it may be better. On this particular one, my Bluetooth is kind of wonky. On most of the other cameras, I've never had that issue. But the main reason for me talking about this camera is the image quality. So this camera can compete with the best of them. I did a shoot with the 50R and the 100S, and the 100S was my main, and I used the 50R just to test, and that image ended up being my favorite shot of the whole shoot. So that was something that reminded me of how good this camera was, how good this camera is, and this is something you can get for $2 grand, 2,500 now on MPB or eBay or Facebook Marketplace, and I don't think you won't be satisfied. I feel like if you're a portrait shooter, if you're someone who's just looking to elevate your image quality, if you're someone who's just looking to get a good camera and slow down, if you're someone who's switching from film to digital, This is a good system to buy into. The lenses are affordable. The cameras are affordable. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm just gonna finish this video out with images. Enjoy.